that kind of goes into something we wanted to talk about as well with the online trainers, right?
Right.
We've seen a spike in some.
Everybody's an online trainer. What are you talking about? Everyone's an online trainer.
Everybody's an online trainer these days now. I'm not one to give you a diet plan. I'm just going to state that for the record. You take from it what you want, but I don't know. I just a lot of times. Here's what I told my daughter this morning, right on the way to school, and I just mentioned it. I go, I know these memes really the memes or memes. I don't know. I'm so old. I can't. Whatever they are. Maybe there's too many of them circulating because they got people really believing in fairy tales. Like, I'm not trying to say you can't go for your dreams and do whatever it takes. I get it. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
So what do you think? Like, why? What's giving? Tell me your thought. What happens?
Well, here's what happens. I think people see the memes, they see everybody else doing it, and they want to copycat it and do it, and realize in a few months when it really comes to, fruition, they're in over their heads and have no idea, and you'll see them just go away. And it's, I watch a lot of this stuff and I see it. And I've been around for a few years. At least in the industry, 4 years going on 5. And, I kind of did my training for football, right? So that's what hockey, football, wrestling in high school, that sort of background. So for me, it wasn't about stepping on stage in a bikini. It just wasn't for me, right? I got no ass. You know what I mean? It's a bad picture. Don't even think about it. But I just think.
Ass. I saw you the other day. You have a little ass. There's still a little ass left on you.
Yeah. Maybe I can go get those booty shorts. You know what I mean? That'll kind of pop it up. I don't know.
But I'm gonna walk you down a path, okay?
Right.
And I'm gonna give you a few sides. I'm gonna give you what I think. I'm gonna give you what I've heard. Okay.
Right.
So when I lived in California, I used to mentor with Charles Glass. Right. Arguably the top trainer, some would say, in the world.
Right.
He has people who fly all over the world to train with Charles.
Right.
So we were talking about this subject one day. It was me, him, and I don't think it was quite a pro, but a national. He was close to becoming pro. And I asked Charles what he thought, and the soon-to-be pro bodybuilder who was training with him, and then I was mentoring. He says, well, let me tell you, this is the pro bodybuilder. He goes, or soon to be, he says, I had a guy walk up to me, say, hey, I want to train with you. And the pro bodybuilder guy looks at him and says, well, you don't want to train with me. He goes, you need to train with this guy. And he points to Charles. Well, Charles used to train in the old days, back in the 80s. Now Charles is an older man. He's skinny. He just looks like a normal person.
Sure.
So this guy says to the bodybuilder guy, he goes, I don't want to train with that guy. And the pro looks at him and says, no, you want to train with this guy. This is the guy. He goes, no, I basically says, look at him. I'm not going to train with that guy. So the story goes, a couple of days later, he comes back, finds out who Charles Glass is, and apologizes to, Charles, because he was saying this in front of Charles.
Right.
So I asked Charles, I said, Charles, what is your take on whether you look in shape or you look out of shape? And Charles feels that it doesn't matter how you look. He feels it's what you know. And I thought it was interesting. And I don't know that I completely agree with that. And here's why. Here's a couple scenarios. You can have somebody who looks phenomenal. I don't care, guy, girl, whatever it is. As soon as they go to open their mouth, they sound like a moron. They don't know shit. You're like, you look amazing, but you know nothing.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But then the reverse side is someone who looks like shit knows a lot because they're book smart and they can rattle off things. But my issue with that is this. I feel that you should at least kind of walk the walk. Do you have to be phenomenal at 3% body fat or whatever your goal is? No. And here's why I say that.
Right.
If you're coaching this person and you haven't experienced lifting heavy, dieting hard, if you're going to do a show, how can you relate to the experience of the person that you're wanting to train. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I think I'm going to interject a thought there because as I was sitting back, just kind of, taking it in like maybe the listener is, and keeping it within kind of some, I don't know, I guess I'll just throw it out there. You get a guy in the NFL, John Gruden. I believe he played a little college ball, and, that sort of thing. But we get the John Grudens. And then we have other coaches that have never, well, maybe they played the game maybe in high school or something or other, but you look at them and they're not specimens of health, okay?
At a high level. They haven't played it at a high level.
Correct. And they're not really specimens of health. Some of them, like you said, they're technicians, right? We get the 5'8", 180-pound offensive line coach. And you look and you say, wait a minute, how can this guy coach other athletes who are 6'8", 300 pounds and play the position? And so I think that kind of gets put out there too, where you look at him and you go, how's this guy an offensive line coach? He's never played the game. Well, the guy's got 4 Super Bowl rings and turns out Pro Bowlers.
That's a big point.
So in that sense, like with Charles Glass, I believe he competed, a lot in his time. So, he's a little older man now. Things, body physically changes. So that begs the question: do you have to be a stellar bodybuilder to give out plans? I mean, there's a lot of dietitians that need help with their diets, right? There's a lot of counselors that need counseling, right? So,
absolutely.
Just devil's advocate, though. That's all.
And I'm not saying that, no, like I said, because a lot of them, they open their mouths and they sound like a moron. But I feel, for me personally, right or wrong, that there needs to be somewhere in the middle. You have to have experienced something. No, you don't need to be a pro. You don't need to be 1%.
Right.
But I feel like you have to have gone through an experience. Because remember, it's not even just doing the physical of the eating and the training. The emotional side, which I think lacks the most, is the emotional connection of like, wow, this is how I feel today, or I'm not. And if you haven't experienced that at some level, I feel, then how can you relate?
Well, I definitely agree. In that token, in that sense, I just don't. Here's my thing: as long as you're not ripping off someone else's plan and making it yours, I'm all for it. I mean, if you're the guy that's going to make the X's and O's and you're delivering something that no one else is doing, I guess you could look like the Hamburglar and get away with it. But you know what I'm saying? And some of you guys that are a little younger aren't going to know Hamburglars. Just Google it. You'll thank me later. But hey, he brought me to McDonald's many a times, that Hamburglar. But
they're running a special right now on McDoubles, 2 for $3, I think.
No way. That's pretty.
Hey, Dave Palumbo used to live on McDonald's and got to 300 pounds.
Well, I'll tell you, the hardest part for me, and I know we're kind of jumping off base, but that's what this show's about, guys, is I've got to make a right-hand turn to go home on a particular street. And right on the corner, there's a beautiful McDonald's. I mean, this thing is like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to go sit down. Is there any forks and knives?
You want to take your wife there for dinner.
Yeah, you don't mind. I mean, you know what I mean? It's an okay thing. So I go by there, and I'm just like, here's the sad part, guys. I'm going to be really honest. It depends on the size of the line. If I'm going to stop.
Absolutely. Yep. I thought I was the only guy that was listen, Rob, I tell my kids, I'm assuming we can't go today.
Yeah, I'm being honest. If I see 4 or 5 cars in both lines, I'm like, you know what? Today's not a good day to go and get a heart burger. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. It has no bearing. We're talking about diets. It's okay. It's right there. Just keeping it real. So, and I tell myself, God, and that's really the decision maker, guys. So, you can bullshit yourselves if you want to, but I'm going to keep it real. When I'm passing,
my kids are starving. My kids are
starving. Yeah, starving.
I go, we're not going the line. I go, you're going to have Taco Bell today. Did you say McDonald's?
Right.
Sorry, there's 2 cars.
Well, and then what happens is, here's the fallout, right? So I pass McDonald's because the line's long at this point, right? That's the first scenario. And now I'm starting to think, oh shit, what's at home? What did I go shopping? Can I make tuna? Like, what do I have to eat that's going to make me feel better now? You know, I don't want to turn on the grill because it's 115,000 degrees, and the sun's baking my forehead as I'm cooking.
We live in Arizona, guys. If you don't know, like today it's 10 something in the morning. It's like already 105.
Yeah, I go outside, I burn my feet on the concrete. It's a bad situation. So, like I said, you know, so I'm passing McDonald's. Get the scenario in your head if you can follow me, and then immediately the light bulb goes on. Shit, what's at home? So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Let me make the right choice. Let me make tuna. And then, so I get home, throw the tuna together. Of course, it's albacore. I can't eat the other shit. And I throw onions in it. Now the kids come down. They just got home from school, and they go, Dad, what's with the onions? We don't eat onions. And now, so they're double pissed. I didn't stop at McDonald's. My son wanted to go there yesterday. They know it's a treat. Doesn't happen often. Not for them, anyways. And now they look at me with this look like, you let me down twice, Pops, you know? So now what do I do? So then it gets into, well, do you want me to make you a sandwich? Like, you know, turkey, whatever. And they're deflated, you know? So.
Yeah, because you made them a sandwich yesterday. So now.
Right. If that line would have just been shorter, guys, but I can't tell them that. You know what I mean? The line is long. Dad doesn't want to wait.
I tell them. I say the line's too long.
Right. The line's too long. Right. So, you know. Yeah, well, that you know, and in regards to that, so my AC unit, right, in the car, I don't know what went down, had to replace the water pump. All of a sudden, maybe there's a mechanic out here that can help me, I don't know. But all of a sudden, two sides of my vents are blowing cold air. And that's no bueno out here, man. So...
I might be able to help you. Okay, this is funny. So I'm in line going to pick up my daughter at middle school, right?
Right.
School start,
right.
bus.
Right.
I'm sitting out there for like a half hour, and I get that the car has to move to keep the AC.
This
cold.
Is true.
Okay, so what do? I use my brain. I said, well, let me rev the car a little higher. I'll hit the RPM.
Yeah, because that's like bro science, you know? I'll just put a little more weight. I'll get bigger. Yeah.
Right. So I'm thinking that the air's not working. And then we drive home, and granted, I think it was probably about 113 and humid, but still, even take the humidity away.
So
113.
So basically, you're driving in a kiln.
Yeah, right. So I think, you know, after you drive for a while, it starts to get colder. Well, it's not getting colder. So what do? I take my car to the mechanic, and I bring it in, and he checks everything, and he comes back to me, he goes, Jay, everything's fine. Everything's flowing, he says, you're free on everything. I'm like, the one thing, he goes, dude, it's 113. He says, these things don't work over 110. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, all right, let me make it simple for you.
Wow.
He goes, whatever the temperature is, he says, take 30 degrees off. He goes, so if it's 100 degrees, your AC is going to blow 70 degrees. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. He goes, yeah, people come in. I thought this was interesting.
Wow.
With brand new cars, brand new, right? 2019, whatever.
Right.
And he goes, something's wrong with my air. It's not working. And he tells them it's the same thing whether you have an older car or a new car. He says, sorry, Miss Jones. And they get pissed. Like, God damn it.
So you're telling me that I've been kind of bullshitted for a long time, because when I get in the car, I hit low. And it's dual climate, right? So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I want it at 60. So it's never going to get to 60 unless it's 90 outside.
Correct.
Well, then that makes total... No wonder I'm driving a hot box.
I thought I was out of my mind.
That's pretty interesting.
I told my daughter, I'm not getting there early. I said, you're going to wait. She said, damn it, it's 110. I said, the line will get moving. I said, I'll get there. Well,
you know, and I got the leather seats, right? Because you got yada, yada. You got the S version, right? Well, you stick to those things, you know what I mean? And then here's the best part, because, you know, it's a Cali car, right? And heated seats and heated steering wheel. I need cold seats, man. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but you know what? You're stuck to the seat. But I look cool.
Right, yeah, I look cool. I'm burning alive. Burning alive. You know, luckily for the tint, and the car's white, right? But then you get my wife's car, which is a little older, and that thing blows so cold, it's like you got an iceberg in the engine, you know? So
I'd like to have her iceberg in my van.
Yeah, but I get what your point is, because if you think about it, if you rev the engine, Does it kick it in a little different gear? I know we're not
Well, he told me
mechanics.
the guy thinks at the place he said, he says just bring your car up to 1,500, 2,000 RPMs and let it sit there. I mean, it makes a difference.
Well
at the end of the day,
then you're a bad guy because you're killing the environment.
right?
You're putting a huge.
It's 113 out.
Yeah, you're putting a huge, a carbon footprint. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, it's just like the pool situation, like with my pool. So the rule of thumb is 20 degrees, right? So if it's 100 outside, the pool's 80. If it's 110, it's 90. And the only thing you do is like an aerator kind of thing for the pool.
Does that work for you, the aerator?
Yeah, the aerator does. It does actually do a really good job. Of course, when it's been $1.10, $1.15 for 2-3 weeks, it stays steady at 90 and shit grows.
Right.
But yeah, I guess the same rule of thumb applies, right? So, yeah, pretty interesting in that regard. So, yeah, but all those factors play a role, and I'll tell you, for those that don't live here in Arizona, man, the temperature dictates what you do outside. So, for me, it's it might as well be snowing because there's certain things like your temp, what is it? What is it? Well, the word I'm looking for. Your temperament revolves around this heat, right? I got less patience for shit when it's hot like this, right?
So when you're out there, you see it.
I stay away from it. I try not to travel around. I know. I'm with you.
Right. In Arizona, guys, you don't want to drive in our town between 2 and about 5 o'clock.
Oh, no.
Because that's when the temperature peaks.
Oh, yeah.
And you feel it, people, when they drive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're tired of everything. Everything changes. Funny story, too. A couple weeks ago, went to a great event down at Tangible Fitness with my guy, JC Rongdestrong. What a hell of an event, by the way. Turnout was awesome. Donated a bunch of shoes to those that are in need of. And overall, just a great time, right? Well, we hope that it gets bigger and bigger every time we do it. That's the goal. But nonetheless, I'm driving on the 10 freeway, guys, and this is a true story. 10 freeway, it's hot as hell, probably $1.10. That's where it started. And I'm noticing that my car is pulling to the right a little bit, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I got the music jamming. I'm not trying to have a bad day, I got to go to this event. I want to put on the best, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting in the mode, right? Getting the mind right. You got my tunes bumping. I think I was talking to you and I go, man, my car's pulling to the right, So I'm thinking to myself, man, I must have hit like a major pothole like in Phoenix. Because some parts of Phoenix, it's a shithole. You're going to hit potholes, right?
Right.
And so that was my thought. So I pull over like in an AM, PM, and I check out the tire. He's flat. And I go, you're fucking kidding. I got rims. It's a mess, right? So I'm like, here we go, right? So I throw $1.25 in the quarter machine to get the air. And guess what?
Still flat?
No. The actual nozzle that's on the hose, it ain't going to pump any air into anything, not even into the universe. It's broken. The tip is broken. So there goes $1.25. My tire's flat. I go, you know what? We're going to do this Marine Corps style. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to drive it to the event because it's only like less than 500-600 feet. I'm going to pull it in a cool spot. And then when the event's done, I'll change the tire, call AAA, whatever. Well, so the whole time I'm in the event, I'm thinking to myself, shit, I got a flat tire. It's 110 degrees. The tire's hot. The car never cools down. I don't care if it's in the shade. Okay?
But how was your temperament? You were distracted.
No, I was cool. Yeah, I was cool. It was no big deal until I had to go back out to the car and deal with it, right?
Okay.
So we called AAA, 2-hour wait. I go, well, it's 6 o'clock. That'll make it 8. I still got to do some shopping and meal prep. Dude, I'm going to be up till midnight for a freaking tire.
Right.
So I'm thinking in my head, it's a Sunday. I'm screwed. I can't go to a tire joint. I can't throw a tire on. Hell, I would walk to get a tire at that point, okay? Put it on my back and march it over. It ain't going to happen, though. So, I'm going down the checklist here. And the checklist is starting to turn into, I'm going to have to change this tire. So here I am. Here I am with this goofy little, I don't have pallet jack, nothing weird to lift the car, right? No. What are those things called? What are those things called?
The little It comes with the car.
Yeah. But there's another one that you put under the car, you pump it, See what happens when you get old, you forget shit. So anyways, I don't have anything exciting to lift this car up, not even myself. And so I'm sweating, guys. Like, I'm sweating. I'm dripping. Shit's going through my beard. I'm mother effing the car. I'm mother effing life. My hands are black and dirty. You know,
How hot is it right at this time? How hot is it?
Dude, it's like 6 o'clock, man. So it's still hovering 100 plus, okay? And at this point, everything's hot, okay? So, the lug nuts, they're not coming off, man.
No, of course not, because they're expanded because of the heat.
Right, and they're riveted on like I'm driving NASCAR, okay? Daytona 500, I can't get the things off, I'm losing the race. So I'm yanking this bitch, the car's moving, I go, great, this is going to suck. Boom, finally get the one. Dude, I mean, look, I'm not an expert tire guy. Put the donut on, I go down the street, really nice Mexican-American joint. They don't have my tire, of course. It's a huge tire, no one's going to have it. So I'm driving home like Grandpa Joe, take my time, I get home. I got to go shopping. I got the spare tire. I guess where the story goes is it's just, it doesn't matter. Like,
what time was this? When you finally got home, what time was it?
Probably 6, 7, 8 o'clock, because I got to take it slow. You can't go 90 on a donut. You'll blow up. Fuck. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll hit another pothole and blow the fucking tire out and then I'm gone. So there's the story. So, and a lot could have played in part, the heat, everything. So it's just one thing, after the other, and that's just one thing you take into it. And I know, I grew up in the Northeast, I get it. We used to lose mufflers just going down the street, so I'm not complaining, I know.
Are you still on the donut, or did you finally change the tire?
No, I got the tire changed the next day, no big deal. It's just Sunday, you can't go anywhere, you're done. It's Arizona. It's not like, tire shops are going to stay open for Big Rob. I mean, I'm not that popular.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know, I probably would have waited the 2 hours and walked in a store for AAA.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I thought about afterwards, but here we go again. Mr. Hero wanted to get on the road. So I can do this. What? It's just a tire. I do this all the time. Yeah. The joys of life. So, yeah, but we got it taken care of. No big deal. But that's the other thing, though. The tires go bad quick out here because of the heat, man. It just kills them.
Batteries.
Yep.
Batteries.
Well, kind of back to that, too. So, in regards to, like, the Olympia, I think it's something that we're going to.
That's right.
But I got to tell you, man, I don't have that feeling that I used to have. I used to tell the stories about Rich. We'd have 5-hour-long lines. I mean, not me. I mean, him. He was the star.
Right.
But, to be in that epicenter, there was a big draw, right? So even though it's hot as hell outside, it's September, you're in a nice, cool event, and it was fun to go, right?
Yeah, I remember. It hasn't been fun the last couple of years.
Well, and
to your point. Or as fun.
The expo itself was a lot more, I guess, fun and to get to than the actual Olympia because Phil Heath was winning and winning and winning. So, it was just great. So, hopefully this year, I know there's a lot going on. I don't know who the front runners are, sadly, mainly because, even Sean, I guess, was, so the hope is, here's kind of like in a capsule, does Kai Green step onto the scene? I don't know.
I was going to ask you that. And I know as we get closer to the Olympia, we can open up that. But that's the big, I think that's probably, with all the stuff that's going on with Roden, is the most exciting part. Does Sean or does Kai compete? Do you think Kai's in shape usually all year round?
For the most part, yeah. I think he's dialed in all year round. Here's the problem, though. Is it more of like a win by default if he wins? They got nobody else?
Right.
You know what I mean? I hate to say it like that, but, a lot of the WWEs and stuff find themselves in those predicaments where they don't have a star. We got to get a star. The show's nothing without a star.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. So Dexter's still, and Dexter's still going and gunning for it.
Oh, no, I agree.
Stupid. But here's my thing, though, and we can talk about this more later.
Sure. Yeah, we're just setting up for the next one.
As Kai goes,
right.
Kai hasn't showed up in condition since the Arnold or the New York Pro. It's been a long time, and I've never seen him show up in crazy condition. I think except that one year, arguably, where he beat Phil Heath. he has a hard time dialing it in, it seems like, on game day.
Well, that's definitely going to be a topic for the next show, and we want to know what you guys want to hear. So that's going to be one of the topics. Is Kai going to compete? And I think we've got a good week to kind of mill things over, look it over, and see is this guy a front runner? Is he going to be able to compete? Does he want to compete? So those are some of the questions we're going to have answered on the next show, because I think that's a big one, and it's going to kind of determine. Listen, the guys at AMI, I gotta think they're pretty smart. They got some attorneys, they got some people on board in marketing and media relations. I think they know what they're going to do. I'm not saying it's staged or set up, but you got to have some horses in there that can win the race, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So that'll be a great discussion for the next show. But we're planting the seed now, so you guys can start letting us know what your thoughts are in that regard. So. Other than that, though, I think, the fitness world is kind of where it is. Kind of in a strange situation over the course of the summertime when the industry should be booming and it's kind of slowing down. So it's kind of odd. Usually we slow down around the holidays. But this time around, it seems like we're slow most of the year. There's little things going here and there, but it seems more like little pockets of fun and fire. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. So.
All right.
Well, that's pretty much the end of this show. I think we kind of wrapped it up and kind of just said what we needed to say, and I think we hit our topics that we wanted to hit with road and wheels and online training and some other bullshit. So, any more closing thoughts, Jay?
No, it's just fun. Like Rob said, let us know what you guys want us to talk about here, and let's keep this thing going.
No, I definitely agree. And like I said, don't let any of the conversations persuade you. If you're into the online training and it's something you're really passionate about,
right.
I'm going to side with, like I said, if your X's and O's are genuine, then there's no one that's going to be able to stop you or stand in your way. If you're faking the funk and you're taking diet plans from other people and making it your own, that's kind of shitty, and it's going to end up blowing up in your face. So a little word of advice from the old cats, just, make it yours, be genuine, and I think you'll be fine. As far as the rest of the guys, man, just, watch who's in your circle and do the best you can. Ask yourself, what am I about to do? Is this going to be worth it? And, on that note, because I like to end the show on a positive note, what we do today shines very bright tomorrow. So,
amen.
Yeah, even in your darkest day, man, tomorrow the sun's going to shine. So keep that positivity flowing, baby. So, all right, guys. Well, next time we'll catch up with you. Other than that, we're out.
See ya.